All right, just gonna do a quick update here. It's been a couple of weeks, so we're gonna do a quick walk through the inside. Nothing's changed on the outside, so I'm gonna skip that video this time. But as you can see, we're gonna enter in the same side door here, but now we got some walls going on. So I'll breeze through here. This will take us out into the front desk area here. Again, front door, waiting room, but everything now, we got some walls going on. You come back through here. So we'll go down the hallway again, staff lounge here. So everything kind of rounding out into place here. Still have some duct work left to finish before the ceiling can go up. So they're working on that. Or the HVAC guys are still getting that all primed and ready to go here, but feels like we're getting real close, I hope, to getting some paint on these walls here, and then we can start getting some equipment delivered and get us ready to roll. I'm hoping that we're looking right around beginning of September. Hopefully that's not wishful thinking, we'll see. But you know, back again where the operatories are at here. And again, cruise through the lab. Got our plumbing coming out here for some sink, or a sink, excuse me. All gonna have cabinets along those walls here. Come back through mechanical room here. And one doctor office, second doctor office here with the bathroom, that little doorway there. I'm not gonna walk in there again. And here's our sterilization, looking back the other way. We'll have dirty side and clean side, a little storage. And back out to the hallway. So moving along, we're getting close. I'm excited. We'll get back out to the waiting room here. Here's our fridge that's going in the staff lounge here. And there we go. Morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Handpiece Less Traveled. I've been away for a couple of weeks. I was fortunate enough to have a daughter get married last Saturday, so I was out taking care of business there and enjoying some time with family and friends. But unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, and we're back in town. So I'm coming to you again from the waiting room. Like I said, just completed a video showing, you know, most of the walls are up and starting to get mudded and starting to get to a point where we can start finishing some things around here. So pretty excited. It's getting close. I want to briefly talk about something that's a little bit off topic for me. I've come to a point in my career where I need to start worrying about my health. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. And if I want any hope of being able to do it for another 20, I really need to start taking care of myself. My back has been giving me a decent amount of problems here over the last probably year and a half to 2 years. Some of it is, well, I bet you a lot of it, if I'm being honest, is probably due to being overweight, which puts a lot of pressure on my back as I, move around and spend my time, as we know, hunched over, kind of turned to I'm right-handed, so turning to the left to get into the mouth there. It's caused a decent amount of back pain. So I decided, I just turned 48 last month, and decided that by the time I turn 50, I want to be in the best shape of my life, which is going to require a lot of effort on my part. It's going to require a lot of discipline that obviously I haven't had in the past, because if I had, then I wouldn't be in this situation. But it's important. It's something that obviously I didn't pay attention to and should have, that, as you get older, and this is not a secret, but obviously I didn't do anything about it, but as you get older, it's tougher to recover. It takes longer to recover. And problems get worse as you get older. So my plea is that we learn how to take care of ourselves. I mean, if we want to extend our careers, if we want to have the energy to do dentistry, to own practices, listen, and I've said this before, dentistry is physically and mentally and emotionally demanding. It requires a lot of mental energy and a lot of physical energy. And if we kind of let our bodies go, if we're not staying healthy, then that process speeds up and it gets worse. And it takes us longer to recover. It takes us longer to bounce back from being injured or bounce back from being sick. And, you know, most of us, or a lot of us, especially practice owners like myself, you know, if I don't work, I don't get paid. You know, if I'm the sole provider in one of my practices and I get sick and can't work, not only does no money come in that day, but none of my staff get paid that day. And, you know, the vast majority of them live paycheck to paycheck. You know, they expect to be able to work. And if I'm not in a physical, if I'm not physically capable of working because I haven't taken care of myself, then not only am I, letting myself down, letting my family down, but I let my staff down as well because I can't be there to produce and to allow them to work. So, it's super important. It's important that we, take care of ourselves. It's important that we exercise, that we eat right, that we get enough sleep. I've been kind of to the point now where I'm working with a trainer to, be able to lose weight. I mean, I'll be perfectly blunt. I weigh close to 300 pounds. I'm 6'3", I'm 48 years old, and that's an unhealthy weight for somebody my age and my size. So I need to get on a program here where I can lose 60, 70 pounds, take a lot of pressure off my back, and, just live a healthier lifestyle to be able to extend my career. There's tons of dentists that go on disability for back pain, neck pain. And as much as it sounds sweet, like, oh, sweet, I'll go on disability and get paid and not have to work. It's not sweet. I mean, it's not, you can make more money producing and being a dentist than you can just cashing disability checks and hanging out and getting worse. So, part of my, journey here, like I said, I'm building a new office. Obviously, I'm looking to bring on associates. I'm looking to grow. I have 2 practices here. But part of my growth here is personal. It's me learning how to be a better leader. It's me learning how to be a better provider. And it's me learning how to be better physically so that I can have the energy that I need to be all of these things to everybody. It's tough. It's tough when you're, the provider, when you're, you have a family, you've got employees, you've got associates, and, you're wanting to do all of these things. And when you physically can't, it's demoralizing. I'm at a point now for probably the past year and a half, I'm in constant back pain every day. I feel it in my lower back. I feel it down my leg. My mobility isn't what it used to be. I have a tough time, bending over to put shoes on, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it hurts my back. And, I'm currently, trying massage therapy and I've done a little bit of physical therapy, but it can't overcome being overweight. It can't overcome, having a belly and having that constant pressure being pulled forward because I'm so top heavy that my back just can't keep up anymore. On top of, doing a job that, impacts your back. So part of my, kind of quest here on top of, again, building an office and bringing on associates and trying to be a mentor is I need to be better physically. I need to have more energy to do all of the things that I want to do, not just within dentistry, but again, for my family, for my staff, for everybody. So part of this journey is going to be, personal. It's definitely going to be me, again, trying to form habits, trying to eat better, trying to sleep more, trying to exercise more, and, trying to be more disciplined. I've gone down this road multiple times and I've kind of yo-yoed between, this weight and that weight. And after a period of time, I give up on it and then put the weight back on, and it's super frustrating. And dentistry is no different. We go through cycles where, it feels like things don't work. It's like we get on the scale, we're exercising, eating, and you don't see the scale change for weeks. We do the same thing in dentistry. We go through patches where it's like, none of this is working, or it just feels like, we're kind of stuck in a rut. We're not growing. We're not making any more money. Our practices aren't getting any better. Our situation's not getting any better. Whatever situation you're in, we go through these peaks and valleys. And where I think, the rubber meets the road, where we, can benefit, is that those who are consistent through these peaks and valleys, can kind of get through and see the light at the end of that tunnel. I haven't been able to do that physically yet. I'm hoping that this is the time that I can. But dentistry is the same way. I mean, as coming out as new grads, you come out and you have a skill set, and you'll see that first few months, you'll see that skill set rapidly increase. You'll get quicker. You'll see things better. You'll understand more of the stuff you learned in school. And if you're fortunate enough to have a good mentor, that mentor will help you and coach you through some of these situations that you didn't see in school. But then you'll get to a point where you kind of feel like, is this it? Like, is this all that dentistry has to offer? I feel like, not that you know how to do everything, because you never do, but you'll get to a part where you kind of feel stagnant, or where you feel stuck, or where you think, maybe I've gotten everything I can out of this job situation that I'm in. Should I now, be an associate somewhere else? Should I now decide to buy a practice? Should I now, decide to become faculty? Should I pivot? Is there something that I need to do differently? Have I gotten the most out of this situation? Or, you decide to just keep doing what you're doing, and that's fine if it fits your goals, if it fits, your life, kind of what you mapped out your life to be. Not that everything goes the way that it's supposed to, because I'm here to attest to you that it doesn't. I've practiced in 6 different states, and every state except for one, which was Oklahoma, I thought I would live there permanently. Every time I moved somewhere, I thought, all right, this is going to be the place. I'll raise my family here. I'll build a practice here, and this is where I'll be. And 5 times that didn't happen. I ended up having to leave for whatever reason. I'm here now in Eastern Kentucky, and this is where I've raised my family. And I'll be here at least until they're done with school, and then we'll see what opportunities arise. But, those peaks and valleys, they're going to happen to us. And just like in a health journey that I'm beginning now, there's going to come times where I plateau. There's going to be times where I see a lot of growth. There's going to be, or hopefully not growth, hopefully the opposite, if you catch my drift, but where I'm going to see progress. And then it's going to plateau. And in the past, when it's plateaued, I've thrown up my hands and given up and gone back to what I was doing, which was terrible. So I'm hoping not to make those mistakes again. I'm hoping part of this provides me some accountability to other people. And hopefully it provides me the willpower and the determination that I need to find to gut through those, those valleys, or gut through those plateaus, and keep trucking, and, then, hit a new level of progress. Again, just like in dentistry, you might get to a point where you feel stagnant and you say, I need to learn a new skill. Maybe it's learning how to place implants. Maybe it's learning, full mouth rehab. Maybe it's, learning occlusion, whatever it is that, aligner therapy, whatever it is that you feel like you need to add to your arsenal, then maybe it's the time and point to do that, and to then open up, a new area of dentistry that will allow you to reach new heights, allow you to, kind of burst through those levels of, where everything feels stagnant, or where you feel like, you're kind of burned out in your career. And maybe it's not a matter of learning a new skill. Maybe it's taking on a new opportunity. Again, whether it's practice ownership, whether it's buying another practice, whether it's bringing on an associate and maybe working less, whatever kind of stage you're in. But I wanted to, kind of bring that to your attention today, that more than anything, I would hope that, especially if you're younger, please find a way to take care of yourself. Because if I could go back, again, I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. If I could go back to the day I graduated and get myself right physically, I would be in a lot less pain than I am today. And it would be more enjoyable, for sure. And not to mean that I can't make changes, and obviously that's my goal here, is to make some physical and personal changes to where I can get back to where I'm feeling good, to where I have levels of energy that will allow me to do everything that I want to do. But that's I guess that would be my plea to you. My call to action is get healthy. If you're not there yet, find ways to make little changes. And again, it's no different in dentistry. You might just need to make a simple tweak to, change the way you see dentistry or change what it does for you. But I hope that this is helpful. I'm gonna, as I check in weekly, I'll give you some progress. I'll give you some updates. I'll give you my thoughts and feelings on kind of where this is going. And hopefully it's not, hopefully I can be of help to you, and hopefully you guys can be helpful to me. But anyways, it's been great to talk to you. We'll do it again next time.